It'll be on Discord. Calm down, little Greavy. We're gonna a minute. Chill out. Oh mate, there were penalties, weren't there? Oh fuck's sake. Oh no. There were penalties, weren't there? There were grid penalties. Fuck's sake. Sorry boys, I'll be 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm setting up the grid. I'm trying to set up a grid.
When
It's
you
alright.
do that, if I well, mine's not working.
Yeah. It's a nightmare. Oh, thank God, I think we're done. I think that's it. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, everyone. Right, let's go. So just waiting on Polish my balls to ready up, and then we should be good to go here for the race. Welcome along, everybody. Welcome back. Apologies for the little delay that we had there. We had to end the previous streams. I had to close my game in order to get restarted up again. So the first stream ended. So this is the race stream. Obviously that was the qualifying stream. If you want to see what happened in qualifying, obviously go back and check that out. But this is where it all matters. This is where the points get handed out. The points in terms of the championship has already been decided in the favour of this man here, Joam, who took pole position in the qualifying session a few moments ago, but did incur a 5-place grid penalty, which has dropped him down the order a little bit. So he obviously lost out due to that. But I'm sure he will be looking to make up for that pretty quickly over the course of this race. He's got scorching pace around the circuit of the Americas tonight as Joam. We saw him over a second clear of Shug's life, so in a way that 5-place grid penalty is going to just add a little bit more excitement into the first part of this race and maybe create a bit of unpredictability. It's not going to be an easy ride for Joam, we know that for sure. Despite taking such a emphatic pole position, it's definitely not going to be a walk in the park tonight for the champion-elect of the Formula 1 League here on the PlayStation 4 and 5 at Motive on the Codemasters Formula 1 game. As Joam's just been disqualified from the formation lap, so he will have to line up on the grid. He'll still take his spot in P6 though, he won't be demoted to the back of the grid, so that's obviously good news for him. But Got full grid here tonight, full 20 car grid. It's we've got DJ Phil and RDJ jumped in in the middle of the qualifying session, which I think could be the reason why the room lagged out. So, but it's obviously good to have them in, and as we said, a 20 car grid for the start of this race. What more could you ask for around one of the best tracks for overtaking? One of the highlights of the Formula 1 calendar here at COTA. Always provides some of the best action, and I can't wait for this one. I'm absolutely stoked. Should be an interesting one. In terms of the tyres, everybody's kind of been given free rein as to what tyres they start on now, as we've had to restart the session. It's just one of those things, we can't really police that. It's a bit, yeah, it's just not really possible. So we've had to obviously start things from scratch, essentially, apart from the order that they qualify in. It's a bit harsh on those who did their fastest lap on the mediums, but that's life. That's the way a cookie crumbles, unfortunately. And you know, stuff like that happens in real F1. You know, people can be leading the race and a safety car could come out and your lead gets absolutely scythed down to absolutely nothing. So you know, these things do happen, and it's unfortunate, but there's not much you can really do to police it. It's just at short notice like this, it's just not possible. But nonetheless, we'll be, I'm sure, in for an absolute treat here tonight. Might even add a few more thrills and spills into the action, as we've got a few comments coming in. Scott Ayres, otherwise known as Nem Vidic, says, Mr. Basil Pole, Joe, I'm 20th. I don't think so, mate. Scott Ayres also saying, no man, qualifying is done to Paul Bennett. Bennett suggesting we do a one-shot quali. Scott Ayres says, Joe, I've got a 5-place penalty. Absolutely, yes, he did indeed. Gaming to the Max says, go guys, here we go. We're about to go racing here for round 16 of the Formula 1 League on the Codemasters Formula 1 game here at Motive Racing. Lights are coming on now here at the circuit in Imola, because it's a long run up to turn 1 up the hill with a big heavy braking zone. Here we go, lights out and away we go. And it's a good start on the inside there from Magpie. Gets the jump immediately on Shug's Life. And now Mr. Basil looking down the inside, and Mr. Basil almost taking the lead there. Claws over the curb a little bit, and Magpie manages to get a bit of X out of the corner. As you see in the background there, Jerome's already made 2 places around the outside of Kingsholm, up into 4th place there. But Penguin do making a few positions up into P6. Crescent Anime and Max GT side by side into the S's. Oh no! And we see there's somebody wide. Horatio's well off the track there. And oh, there's a big crash there in the mid-pack. Horatio down to the back of the pack. Not this first lap he would have needed in any way, shape or form. Cars sliding off the track everywhere there. Magpie leads by 0.8 of a second ahead of Mr. Basil on the opening lap of the race. Joram already up into 3rd place, has made 3 places off the line. What an opening lap here from Joram. In the background there you can see Penguin Dude trying to defend from Max GT. Max GT making a move there on Little Greavy as he gets a little bit loose out of the corner though. Clarky Boy up into 9th place. Little Greavy making a move on Max coming down the straight as they're coming down towards the heavy left-handed braking zone. But halfway around the first lap, Polish My Balls has got ahead of Bennett up into 11th place. Clarky Boy a good first lap from him into 9th. Crescent Money there completing the top 10 as he's going down the inside of Clarky Boy. Oh, Crescent making a move there, and Clarky Boy and Crescent have a little bit of a collision there, and that's going to allow Bennett up into 10th place up the inside. Oh, Crescent spins out and he's off the track and wide there, and he's let the whole pack through. Crescent had an absolute mare there. Shug's Life has got himself back up into 3rd place ahead of Joam. Good driving from Shug's Life here on the first lap. Little Greavy's having a battle here with Max GT. But Max GT squeezes through up into 7th place. Clarky Boy's got Bennett in hot pursuit. Beam Basher up into 11th place on the opening lap. What an opening lap here from the former GTE champion at Motive. Current championship contender in the GTEs on a Sunday night on Project Cars 2. He smashed it here in his opening couple of laps. Up into P10 here. Down the inside of Bennett LCSC's up into 9th place. Great driving from Beam Basher here as he's really making hay while the sun shines. Side by side with the XLF1 champion Bennett LCSC in towards turn 1, and Beam Basher gets himself into 9th place. Jaffa Cake there in 11th has got himself ahead of Rednas. RDJ has made up places in this opening couple of laps as well. He's up into P13 here as Penguin Dude. What's happened to Penguin Dude? Oh, Penguin Dude's parked up on the side of the road, and he's got to let pretty much the whole pack through there. Penguin Dude's had an absolute nightmare on lap 2 of this race. Crescent Anime gets ahead of Polish My Balls up into P16. Penguin Dude, what a shame there for him as he drops down the order. Beam Basher continuing to make progress here in this race. Oh no! Beam Basher spun it! Beam Basher's round coming through the middle of the first sector there. Oh, what a shame. He's going to drop down to the back of the pack near enough. Down to P17. What a nightmare there for Beam Basher. As we see the 2 McLarens here trying to get around Raki defending here from Crescent Anime and DJ Phil out onto the long back straight. We've completely neglected the back of the front here. Magpie's checked out a little bit. He's got over a second. Joram up into P2 here in the opening exchange of this race. So a very strong start from the champion-elect here. Shug's Life's got back ahead of Kingsholm. Those two having a bit of a scrap for 4th place. Mr. Basil onto the podium spots. Always Kingsholm makes a move on the inside of Shug's Life there and gets it done. Max GT down the inside of Clarky Boy up into 6th as well. Bennett there at 8th place has got Jaffa Cake, Rednas, RDJ all over the back of Red. That's trying to get his way to the points. And oh, Jaffa lost it there. Jaffa gets round and ghosts there as he just makes a little bit of an unsafe rejoin. Derby Bay up into 11th place, and now we see Jaffa Cake down in P12, but Magfire still leads, and Joe, I'm now all over the back of him here, as we've got a battle also going on for 4th place, as Max GT gets ahead of Shug's Life. Shug's Life is down to P9. What's happened to Shug's Life? He's falling backwards here. RDJ moves himself into 9th place. Drama everywhere you look. It's all going off here in the opening laps here at Circuit of the Americas for the US Grand Prix Automotive Racing. Bean Basher down in 14th place after his little spin on the previous lap, and we see there Crest Anime and Penguin do both in the pits at the end of lap 2. DRS will be open this lap, and Joan's made the move here on Magfire, but it's side by side through the S's, and the champion-elect around the outside of the S section, and what a move there from Joam. Absolutely puts it on Magfire, but Magfire will have DRS down the back straight. That's what Joam has left himself a little bit vulnerable here. Soft tyres for Joam, mediums for Magfire. Magfire's got the strategic advantage here. Magfire will have DRS down this long back straight. Is he going to be able to get Joam straight back here for the lead of the race? Here we go, rear wing wide open. He's got that slipstream. He's going to look to the inside here, coming down to the end of the back straight now. Oh, actually Joam making a move to the inside, trying to defend. Oh, big bang wheels there, and Magfire back down the inside up into the lead of the race. Can Joam get a cut back here? He does. He executes that beautifully there. Joam back up into the lead of the race as King Hull makes some moves there on Mr. Basil up into the final podium spot. Max GT in 5th is right just ahead of Clarky Boy. Clarky Boy's had a very strong opening to this race in P6 at the moment. Bennett there in 7th just behind. RDJ has just gone down the inside of around the outside even of Shug's Life, but can't get it done. Shug's Life holding that for P9, but RDJ back down the inside for the next corner. Does he overshoot it? He does a little bit, and Shug's Life's back down the inside up into 9th place. But racing throughout the pack here, don't know where to look. So much drama here in the opening couple of laps. We see Horatio there making the move on Raki up into 13th place. He's now on the back of Bean Basher. Bean Basher damage limitation in this race. Oh no, he's lost it. Oh, he's lost it. Bean Basher's in the wall, and we got double wave yellow flags through sector 3. Every reason to carry on, mate. There could be a safety car here in this race, but not what Bean Basher would have wanted or needed in the early stage of this race at all. Clarky Boy's made the move on Bennett up into 5th place. So Clarky Boy driving an absolute cracker of a race tonight up into 5th place, and we've got Max GT making a move on Bennett as well. Bennett, a sitting duck here coming through the S's. He holds it on the inside. Oh, Max has lost it. Max is in the wall. Oh, he's lost his front wing and he's out of the race. Is that going to be a safety car here? Sector 1, Sector 2, the checkpoint there in the S's, and looks like Max is now done for the session. I wonder if that's going to be a safety car here. Could potentially be a safety car, but looks as though the stewards are going to try and cover that under double waved yellows for the time being. But wow, what a shame there for Max GT out of the race. They've recovered it under the double waved yellows, so no safety car needed. But we're down to 18 runners. We started off with the full grid of 20, and Polish My Balls is doing the same thing that he did the other day. He's leaving and joining and leaving and joining and leaving and joining. I don't know what's going on here, but Magfire has got the lead back off of Joam whilst we were watching that battle in the mid-pack. With everything going on in the mid-pack, these two fighting it out for the lead of the race. RDJ's made the move on Shug's Life up into 8th place. Looks as though Shugs is trying to come back at him. Derby Bay waiting in the wings behind these guys, and Shugs looking to the inside of RDJ, but RDJ managed to complete that move there up into 8th place. Nicely done there from Rob, as we've seen. Oh, Shugs is coming back at him though, coming into this left-hand hairpin, runs him a little bit off the track there, and Shugs is just trying to squeeze RDJ, but RDJ's not having any of that. Muscles his way back through, and now Derby Bay's looking to try and take both of them here. Derby Bay looking to try and capitalise on the two in front of him having absolute woes. Oh no, contact between RDJ and Derby Bay, and oh, Derby Bay's round. He's facing the wrong way there on the exit of the penultimate corner. That's going to get the position there to Horatio and Raki. A little bit aggressive driving there from RDJ, maybe. Don't know if Derby Bay will be putting in his stewards on that one. But Joam leads the race ahead of Magfire as we're on lap 5 of 28. We've had enough drama just for basically 5 Grand Prix here, let alone a single race, and we're only 5 laps in. Joam and Magfire leading, they're currently pulling away from Kingsholm and Mr. Basil. These two still battling it out. Clarky Boy's running in 5th place just ahead of Bennett at the moment. These two having a good little battle for P5. Rednass has dropped off at him a little bit. Shug's Life has now cleared RDJ a bit. He's got a second back to him in 8th and 9th place. Is Horatio there completing the top 10 final points playing position at the moment. You've got Derby Bay on the back of Raki. These two battling out over 11th place. Little Greavy there in 13th, followed by DJ Phil. Crescent Anime has put the hard tyres on, so he can maybe go to the end of the race from here, who knows. Beanbash has put a fresh set of softs on. He'll be hoping there's a safety car at some point in this race. You've got Penguin Dude in 17th place. Polish My Balls, the last driver running at the moment, in 18th, and Max GT and Jaffa Cake both out of the race here. Gaming to the Max says this is quite dirty, and Scott Ayres saying questionable driving. Yeah, there was a little bit of argy-bargy there. We've also got Gaming to the Max says what the hell just runs me out onto the curbs. Maximus units, says Scooter Paul. And Andy, remember to breathe at least once a lap. Yeah, no, don't worry about me, mate, I'm fine. But Joram and Magpie separated by 0.6 of a second as they're coming down the start-finish straight. DRS wide open for Magpie, he's too far back. Joram's got the lead back off of him though. Joram though on the soft tyres, Magpie on the medium, so Magpie has got the advantage in terms of the strategy at the moment. Big shout out to Mr. Basil battling out over third place here with Kingsholm as he's really close on the back of Kingsholm once again, looking to try and go around the outside here. Kingsholm covers that off coming into the S's, but these two have been going at it for third place. They're dropping off at the 2 leaders, Joram and Magpie, but currently having a really strong battle of their own as they're gapping Bennett and Clarky Boy. Clarky Boy's lost out to Bennett there, so Bennett back up into P5. Rednass 3.5 seconds behind in 7th place. Shug's Life managed to gap RDJ by 2 seconds here in that battle for 8th place. Horatio running a second behind RDJ. Derby Play running 11th place with Raki a couple of seconds behind him. Then you got Little Greavy just about a second off of him. DJ Phil Creston and Beam Basher, Penguin Dude and Polish My Balls still going here in this race as Joram now has got Magpie hot in his mirrors here. DRS open. I think the corner's going to come just in time here for Joram. Onto the brakes they come. Magpie's going to try and go around the outside here but can't do it. Joram covers that off for the time being. I thought for a second he might be able to get that done there, but obviously Joram on the soft tyres should have the pace advantage at this point, but doesn't really seem to be pulling away. Magpie seems to be more than a match for him. And it also looks, looking at the time board, looks like Little Greavy's got ahead of Raki up into 11th place, or 12th even, should I say. But Raki's got the run here down the straight, but I think that Little Greavy's got DRS open. We can see he's got DRS open because you can see the camera view on the rear wing of that Haas car going around the outside of Raki up into 12th place. You've got Horatio, who's made the move on Rednass up into 9th. He's pulling up onto the back of RDJ quite quickly here. Kingsholm and Mr. Basil still battling out for 3rd place, 0.2 of a second apart as they're coming out onto the start finish straight. Mr. Basil will have DRS up here, so this could be a big opportunity for the Williams to get something done here on the other Williams. Up towards turn 1 they come. Mr. Basil tucks in for the time being. These two know they've got a good chance of getting a podium here tonight. They don't want to throw that away at all. Scooter Paul says, I'm all good, thanks Max, just relaxing before doing some practice for my GT3 ACC League on Sunday. Looking forward to seeing you in that one, Paul. Should be a good night of racing. It'll be the penultimate round of the GT3s, and I think that Jonathan Reed could wrap up the championship in terms of that, but nonetheless it'll be a good battle between everybody out there. Hopefully we'll see some good racing on Sunday. I can't remember where we're even at on the upcoming race for the GT3s, but I think it's Zandvoort I think we're at for the GT3s on ACC, so looking forward to that. But we just see there Horatio's made the move on RDJ up into 8th place. Looked like that was a pretty clean little battle there between those two. Beam Basher's battling with Crest Anime at the moment. I don't know if Beam Basher just got ahead of Crest Anime. I think he might have done actually. Beam Basher is now in some clean air, can now obviously drive that to its absolute maximum and try and get himself into a good position here in this race safely. All that these two need, Beam Basher and Crest Anime, is a safety car to bring them back, to bring themselves back into this. They've both got strong pace here on this F1 game. They just need a little bit of luck maybe to go their way to be back in this fight. Scooter Paul says we are at Zandvoort. Yeah, I thought so. Scott Ayres says thinks that Magpie has this on the strategy. Yeah, at the moment with the medium tyres he's looking very good. Oh no, as you say that, oh my goodness, you've just put a curse on him there, Scott. You've just put a curse on him. Magpie loses out of the last corner in the wall, and the yellow flags have already passed, so no dramas there. But Magpie, oh my goodness me, you've just well and truly cursed him there, buddy. Magpie now has got to drive a full lap without his front wing. He's had an absolute mare there, and he's going to drop a little bit off for Joram here. So Joram now very much in control of this race, and Magpie is going to drop back into the clutches of Kingsholm and Mr. Basil, and this will also now mean that Bennett and Clarky Boy move up into 4th and 5th places. That battle will become for 4th. Scott says, that's race over now. I think so, mate. I think so. He needs to come in at the end of this lap. Hopefully for him, there'll be a safety car at some point. But he's lost out to Kingsholm and Mr. Basil predictably there. Scott saying, sorry, Magpie there for the curse that he's just put on him. RDJ has got Rednass and Little Greavy pretty close on him here as they're coming through this first sector checkpoint. But RDJ doing a good job here tonight. On his debut in the F1 League, used to race regularly on Project Cars 2. Races in our touring cars, which is coming up after this. And he'll be also racing in the GTEs on Sunday night as well, hopefully. But we just see there Redknapp and Little Greavy breezing past him down the back straight, up into 9th and 10th places respectively. So not what RDJ needs at all there, as Redknapp trying to hold on here from Little Greavy. Little Greavy looking to try and go around the outside here of Redknapp. And does he complete that move? He does. Lovely move there from Little Greavy up into 9th place. Clarky Boy's made the move on Magfire predictably there, with Magfire really struggling, having lost his front wing. But Magfire could potentially put the hard tyres on and go to the end from here. That could be a bit of a recovery for him. If he might be able to get a 2nd place. I reckon he'll be able to secure P2 if he puts the hards on from here and goes to the end. Who knows what he's going to do at this point though, as we see RDJ's got back ahead of Little Greavy up into P10 on the exit of the final corner, out into the start finish straight. But Horatio obviously moving up into 7th. Redknapp is up into 8th now with Magfire in the pits. RDJ 9th and Little Greavy 10th. Racky's in the pits here at the end of lap 9, so I wonder if he's going to put the hard tyres on and go to the end from here. That's obviously going to be a strategy that should work out quite well. If you put the mediums on from here, that's going to be a 2-stopper, and Racky is putting the medium tyres on, so he's now pretty much committed to a 2-stopper. You're not going to go 19 laps around Circuit of the Americas on the medium tyres. It's just not going to happen. But Racky there puts the mediums on. He'll have to make one more pit stop after this one, I would presume. Kingsholm running in 2nd place. Has got Mr. Basil pretty close behind him. 0.3 of a second between these two, coming down towards the end of the back straight. Mr. Basil having a look. Kingsholm holding on to that position for the time being. Little Greavy's on the back of RDJ still. RDJ still hasn't given up in that fight for 9th place. Horatio's made the move on Shug's Life up into 6th place, down the inside of the back straight. Here they go, and a nice move from Horatio. Can Shug's Life come back in? No, he can't. That's job done there. Little Greavy's also done RDJ towards the end of the back straight, up into 9th place. As Racky's lost out. Racky's lost out to Penguin Dude and Derby Bay there. And Penguin Dude's got ahead of DJ Phil up into 14th place, as DJ Phil's dropped back behind both Penguin Dude and Derby Bay there, but DJ Phil getting back ahead there. So Derby Bay losing out to both of them. VSC is out. Not sure why. Virtual safety car has been deployed. I assume for a front wing or some debris maybe. Trying to figure out who it might be, but a couple of drivers making the most of these of the VSC and coming into the pits. So Kingsholm, Mr. Basil, Clarky Boy and Horatio all coming in. Shug's Life following suit as well. Polish My Balls is retired from the session, no surprise there. He's been jumping in and out, left, right and centre, shaking it all about. But pretty much half the field into the pits at the moment. Beambasher's got a drive through for speeding under the VSC. What a shame there for Beambasher. But still, a safety car could completely change his race and bring himself back into the mix here. But lots of drivers coming in and making the most of this of the VRC. But the thing is, the VRC's now ended, so Beambasher doesn't even get to come in and make that free drive-through penalty. He's got to drive through the pits here on the limiter. No pit stop, no work can be done on that Mercedes car. It's going to be a long way back in this race, as Penguin Dude has got ahead of DJ Phil and Crest Animakers. Those two are coming into the pits here. So those two presumably putting some fresh tyres on, maybe some hard tyres, who knows. Crest and Anime is already on the hard tyres. Does he put another set of hard? Oh no, the McLarens are double stacking here. Oh dear. McLarens are double stacking. Here they are in the box in a moment. Obviously Crest Anime filling in for Game for Life tonight. One of the championship contenders who obviously was out of the running as of last week, with Johan wrapping it all up. But Crest Anime there, what does he do? He puts another set of softs on. Okay, so he's definitely committing to another stop after this one. He'll need to stop one more time here in this race. Should be able to go to about lap 19, and then he'll be able to put the softs on again, as he's already used a different tyre compound, so he'll be able to do 2 soft stints from here until the end of the race. Jean Bacquia says, good job, Andy. I hope I didn't butcher that pronunciation there, mate, but thank you very much. Really appreciate the kind words there in the comments section. But we've got Crest Anime there coming out of the pits. He's 16 seconds behind his teammate because of the fact they had to double stack. I assume the McLaren pit crew had to switch the tyres and get the right tyres for the correct driver. Scott there says, worst pit ever. Couldn't agree more with you on that one, Scott. We got Kingsholm here with Mr. Basil 7/10 behind him at the moment. These two battling it out over the final podium spot. Little Greavy running in 8th place. Has got Redknapp pretty close to him here, coming up towards turn 1. Can Redknapp go for the move up into the braking zone? No, he can't. Little Greavy holding on to that one for the time being. RDJ's dropped off of Shug's Life a little bit now, 2 seconds separating those two at this point in the race. Mr. Basil still running all over the back of his teammate for this week here, Kingsholm. Glad you saw the funny side of that, Sean, but thank you very much for the kind words there, mate. I don't know if you used to race with us on Project Cars. Are you Jean 0023B? Or I think that's your name, I can't remember. It's like something like that on Project Cars. If it is, let us know. I think it's you, but I don't know. But we got Redness on the back of Little Greavy here, running 8th and 9th places. They're just coming out onto the back straight now. Mr. Basil has actually got a move done here on Kingsholm up into 3rd place, but Kingsholm's trying to come back at him. Oh, he squeezes back through there, and he's back up into 3rd place. Yeah, that is John, yep. I thought it would be, as we see Redness there getting himself up into 8th place ahead of Little Greavy. So Little Greavy down a position in that little exchange there. A long time ago, he says. Yes, it was a little while ago now, to be fair. But I remember back in the back when Motive first started, you raced in a couple of the leagues, the GT5s I think it was, on a Friday. I don't know how I remember stuff like this, but it just sticks with me. But double wave yellow flags through sector 2, not sure what they're in aid of. Oh no, double wave yellows in sector 3 now. So yeah, lots of yellow flags being waved at the moment. Lap 12 of 28. We've currently got Redness with Little Greavy just behind him, half a second between these two in 8th and 9th places. This really the only battle aside from the podium battle, which has been going on all race long between Kingsholm and Mr. Basil. That was another hiccup there. But Little Greavy's still on the back of Redness at the moment. John says exactly, damn, how do you remember that? Don't know. I just remember names. I'm sick in the head, mate. I'm sick in the head. Thanks, man. Good to see you with us. We got Derby Bay on the back of RDJ here, 7/10 between these two, battling it out over 11th place. Mr. Basil's still pretty close to the back of Kingsholm, but can't get himself back up into P3. Is he going to do it now? Here we go, down the inside, DRS wide open. No, Kingsholm holds it around the outside there and keeps onto that podium spot. These two, and I've got Clarky Boy in hot pursuit here. And Clarky Boy on fresh soft tyres has just made a pit stop. He's really in contention for a podium spot here. Now Clarky Boy definitely needs to come into the pits again. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. He needs to clear these guys ASAP and get himself into clean air, start pulling the gap, because these two on the mediums might be able to go to the end, but they're going to have very worn tyres by the end. Kingsholm and Mr. Basil should be able to get their tyres to the end, but they'll be really on a knife's edge by the end of this race. So if Clarky Boy can clear them, do 2 soft stints, this one and another one, to the end of the race, Clarky Boy could be on for a podium, but he needs to get ahead of these boys quickly, otherwise he will get held up and he'll have a mountain to climb at the end. As we see now, Mr. Basil getting a little bit out of shape coming through turn 1, holding on to it for the time being. A bit of a slide as he came out of the corner, but Clarky Boy's hunting him down, and through the S's here, this is where the soft tyres will have a massive advantage on the mediums. And Clarky Boy want to keep himself in DRS range. Kingsholm's now breaking away. Oh no, Clarky Boy! Oh no, he's pinned into the wall. Loses his front wing end plate there. The right side of that front wing end plate has gone. And we just see Horatio swerving out of the way there, up into 5th place. Clarky Boy down to P6. Magfire there in 7th, couple of seconds behind Clarky Boy. A damage limitation for Magfire in this race. Wonder if he can go to the end on those medium tyres. But what a shame there for Clarky Boy. Joam out in front has currently got control of this race well and truly, as he has a little bit of a double take there, coming through just coming through the sector 2, sector 3 checkpoint, but he gets it going once again. But what a shame there for Clarky Boy. He's just ahead of Magfire at the moment, a second between those two. Redness is making a move here down the inside, a Little Greavy up into 8th place, gets that done beautifully there on the brakes, up into 8th place, and he makes that stick there very nicely indeed. We've got Crescent Anime on the back of DJ Phil right now for 16th place, as he's looking to make that move up towards turn 1. Beautifully done there from Crescent Anime on his teammate, but these two are a long way behind. They need a safety car to bring themselves back into contention here in this race. Joram in the pits is off and on his way once again, and he should come out just behind these two who are battling for that podium spot. Obviously those two will be battling for the net podium, as we see there. Joram just slotting behind Kingsholm and Mr. Basil there. So Kingsholm still just ahead of Mr. Basil. Joram will be looking to try and pick off Mr. Basil as soon as he can, as he is the net race leader, obviously, is Joram at this point. We see Redness and Little Greavy getting ahead of Clarky Boy, and the reason why is because Clarky Boy is making a tyre change. He's getting that front wings fixed so that he can have a maximised car for the final stint, or final half of this race, should I say. And he's put the medium tyres on, so they will comfortably be able to go to the end from here. He will get that to the flag rather easily. He comes out just in front of RDJ, just behind Derby Bay, so he's in a good position here as Clarky Boy can still get some very good points despite being knocked off for the podium. He's not in a bad position. As I said before, his best finish here at Motive's a P6, so at this stage he's still on course for his potential best finish of the season, but we got Kingsholm running in second place right now. Mr. Basil's got heavy pressure from Joe. Oh, Mr. Basil's wide. Mr. Basil's off the track there. We've got a VSC, not sure why. VSC is out. But Mr. Basil there going wide, and that's allowed Joe up into third place. Joe, we're looking to try and get himself into some clean air as soon as he can. It's Joe misses his front wing. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, I cannot believe it. Joe, I think he's missing his front wing. Has he had a knock somewhere? He has. Oh my goodness. The champion of the Motive Racing F1 League and net race leader is missing his front wing. He's going to have to come into the pits and get that fixed and get that replaced ASAP. Oh my goodness. Well, Bennett LCFC will inherit the race lead. So what's he doing? He's put the softs on. Why? Bennett's put the soft tyres on, so he can't go to the end. Joe Ram has lost his front wing, so Joe Ram has to come into the pits, and he's going to drop down the order here. And so the net race leader all of a sudden now really up against it here in this race. Joe Ram has put the soft tyres on as well. So both Bennett and Joe Ram putting the soft tyres on. RDJ's got done for speeding under the safety car here. Scott Ayres says, loving this race, come on Basil. Mr. Basil's still in contention for a podium spot. He's just come in and put the medium tyres on. He can easily go to the end from here. So Magfire might be able to go to the end, possibly. Little Greavy, maybe, don't know. Mr. Basil can definitely go to the end and some, but he's got a drive through. Oh, what a shame for Mr. Basil. Mr. Basil's got a drive through penalty. That's going to have dropped him off the podium there. Scott's going to be absolutely gutted with that one. Mr. Basil's could have played himself off of the podium with that. He's got to come in and serve that drive through. He's got to hope now that we have a safety car in this race. That's really dropped him out of the thick of the action here. What a shame there for Mr. Basil. How unfortunate is that? Polish My Balls has left the session again, so he just keeps jumping in and out and in and out and in and out. Rednass is holding on there from Shog's Life. These two battling it out over 6th and 7th places right now. Very close racing here between these guys. Scott says I know him, and he will be shouting on his headset right now. He'll be screaming the roof off at the moment. But Shug's Life still on the back of Rednass here. 0.4 of a second between them. Derby Bay still close on the back of Mr. Basil here. Mr. Basil with that drive through will drop down the order here. He was in a good position in the strategy. He had the fresh mediums on, but it's all gone down the pan for him here in this race, and he'll be lucky to get some points here in this one at this rate. But just needs to keep his head in the game, keep pushing. Clarky Boy has got fresh mediums on. He's not in a too bad of a position. Oh no, Rednass is in the wall. Has he lost his front wing? I think he's held on to the front wing. He's going to have damage on the car for sure. But the front wing has survived that knock into the wall. But look at that, he's having to counter steer there to keep the car in a straight line. So that's going to be a bit of a pain. And yeah, he's definitely needs to come in and get that fixed. Clarky Boy's done Mr. Basil up into 10th, and that's why, because Mr. Basil's in the pits to serve that drive through, and out he comes in P12. So that promotes Beambasher up into 11th. Beambasher's done 11 laps on these soft tyres, so he needs to switch on. So he needs to get those changed quickly. I would say he's probably running the risk here by doing an extra lap. I'd say those are going to be down to the canvas near enough. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to go long on these tyres so then he can do one more stint on the soft. I think he'd be better off just pitting this lap, putting the mediums on and going a comfortable 12 laps. He can take the life out of them. He can really push on those medium tyres to the end of the race. If he puts the mediums on this lap, he'll be able to absolutely go hell for leather in the final stint of the race. But we'll have to see what he does. Tell you what, if he gets a VSC or a safety car now, that would really play into his hands very nicely indeed. RDJ's put some fresh softs on. I don't know whether he can go to the end. JR says this guy sounds hot. Don't know, to be honest. Couldn't tell you. It's not really up to me to decide. But we got Horatio in the pits at the moment. So Magpie moves up into P2. Horatio only put the softs on 5 laps ago, so he's probably going to put a set of mediums on, I would imagine, and go to the end from here. Scott Ayres says what's with people coming in for softs. Kingsholm just threw a chance of winning the winning away with the mediums on at the end. Yeah, I don't know what these guys are doing, to be fair. I don't know why there's so many drivers putting the soft tyres on. They don't go to the end from here. There's no way you can get them to the finish from this far out, or comfortably at least. And Horatio puts the medium tyres on. What does Beam Basher do here? Surely he's going to come in and put the mediums on at the end of this lap. Those soft tyres are going to be driving like an absolute nightmare at the moment. And yes, in he comes at the end of lap 16. So he'll do a 12-lap stint on the mediums, I would imagine, as he comes up towards the pit garage now. Merc crew are out in force there. What does Beam Basher do? Medium tyres. Yep, yellow marked medium tyres going on that Mercedes car. And off and away he goes once again. So not too bad of a stop there from Beam Basher. JR says big love to Raki in the comments there. Obviously Raki a big fan of Motive here, and he's currently running in P14, so not the race that Raki would have wanted tonight, that's for sure, but nonetheless his boy Joram, his teammate, currently running in P5, so it'll be some decent points. These two leading the Constructors' Championship in the Red Bull, so they'll be looking to try and close that out over these last few rounds of the season. I don't think they're in contention to do it tonight though. I could be wrong, but I don't think they can wrap it up tonight. But Raki there running in P14 at the moment, so not the race that he would have wanted for sure. As we've got Kingsholm there on the back of Magfire, these two coming down the start finish straight up towards turn 1. Joram has just done the fastest lap of the race. He's running in 5th place at the moment. So Joram, I reckon if Joram really pushes, he might be able to get himself onto the podium possibly. Depends on how quick Magfire is towards the end of the race, because Magfire is going to, I assume, going to try and go to the end on those medium tyres, which he put on lap 10. But they're going to be shredded by the end of the race, and Joram will obviously, I'd assume Joram's got to come into the pits again, to be fair. Just looking down the order, Joram has got a pit stop in hand over Horatio. He'd come out in P7 if he came in again. Joram's just got to really push. He needs to clear Little Greavy ASAP and get himself into some clean air, go after Magfire and Kingsholm, who are battling it out for second. Kingsholm's got the run here on Magfire down the back straight, down the outside here. Does he complete this move here? I think he has done that beautifully there from Kingsholm up into second place. Joram's done a Little Greavy in the background there up into 4th as well. So 2 moves in the space of a few seconds there. Nicely done there from Joram. Derby Bay and Mr. Basil running 0.3 of a second apart, battling out over the final points paying position at the moment. Beam Basher's in the pits, so he's coming in again. He only put the mediums on that lap. Or he's putting a set of, is he putting a soft on? He's putting a new front wing on. And yep, soft tyres going on for Beam Basher. Only 10 laps to go until the end of the race, so he can comfortably get those to the end. That shouldn't be too much of a kerfuffle. Scott saying let's have another safety car. That would be brilliant, mate. That would really spice up the end of the race for sure. We see Mr. Basil there getting ahead of Mr. Basil, Derby Bay, sorry, getting ahead of Mr. Basil up into P10. We've got Magfire there just behind Kingsholm at the moment, 0.6 of a second now, 0.7 between those two. They're still batting out over second place. Joram now hunting them down. He's already gapped Little Greavy by nearly 2 seconds since getting ahead of him on the previous lap. So Joram's absolutely flying here at the moment. Mr. Pegnadude's just within a second of Crest Anime at the moment in the battle for 14th place. Hiccups out in force tonight. Can't help them. They just come when I least expect them and when I least need them. But Magfire here within 0.4 of a second of Kingsholm as we're coming down towards the end of the back straight. Is he going to make a move here on the brakes? Kingsholm defended to the inside line. Magfire's going to have to get this all the way around the long way here. Into the braking zone they come. Kingsholm defends that inside line and fends off Magfire for the time being. Magfire really pushing him, probing for any weaknesses here, but Kingsholm doing a good job here in this P2. Magfire on the medium tyres can maybe go to the end of this race, but he's going to have to be a bit conservational here, otherwise he will struggle towards the later laps of this race. But Joram's hunting these guys down. He's closed the gap now to under 2 seconds, so he's really making gains here on this lap and will be looking to try and clear them as soon as he can, as he's really got to pit again, I would imagine, with being on the soft tyres. Bennett leading the race here at the moment. He's done 4 laps on those soft tyres. I would assume he probably has to come into the pits again before the end of the race. Kingsholm running in second will have to pit as well, you would imagine, because they both put their soft tyres on at the same time. Magfire will be trying to keep himself in catchment of Bennett and maybe jump in when Bennett comes in, because I'm sure that Bennett will need to come into the pits again. But Bennett LCFC driving a great race here tonight at Circuit of the Americas. He's the champion at XL on a Wednesday and a Sunday night for the OG League. Races regularly in the Realistic League on a Monday night at XL as well. We broadcast XL F1 League races to the Motive Racing channel on a Monday and Wednesday, so some of you guys will be familiar with them. Bennett's always up there or thereabouts, and here at Motive on the Friday night, I think I may be wrong here, and I apologise profusely if I am wrong here, Bennett, but I don't think he's taken a win on a Friday here at Motive. I can't think of a single time that he's taken a win here at Motive, so this could be Bennett's first win here at Motive. He's currently got a great opportunity to get that done, as we see Kingsholm there has made the move back on Magpie. Joel now all over the back of these guys, batting out for second place here for these podium spots. Little Greavy in the background, only 4 seconds off of these, but Joel down the inside here of Magpie and gets that done very nicely. Magpie's still holding it around the outside though. I think Joel's going to cover that off coming into the next corner, this right-hander, the corner where Verstappen cut it and overtook Raikkonen, but they're still side by side. Magpie is making a good fight of it here, but Joel will cover the inside line off for the penultimate corner and gets himself up into third place. Can now try and chase down Kingsholm for that P2. Joe, I said earlier, will be looking to try and secure P2 in this race. He needs to pull a bit of a gap here to Magfire over these final 8 laps of the race though, because Magfire, we believe, is going to be trying to go to the end here. I don't know if he can go 19 laps on the medium tyres, but that would be quite a feat if he does. But Joe, there getting the move done on Kingsholm up into second place. Now he just needs to try and get the hammer down and secure this second spot. He's got the pace here on Kingsholm. Kingsholm will be looking to try and take that podium spot. Magfire will be looking to try and outfox both of these guys in the strategy. One man who's in absolutely no danger and has pretty much got this done is Bennett LCFC. He's got a 14-second lead out the front. He just needs to bring this one home. Joram's got the pace. We know that Joram's the fastest man out on track, having taken a resounding pole position, but Bennett has got a big enough lead and doesn't have to worry too much. He just needs to see this out in that Aston Martin. He just needs to bring this home for the final 7 laps of this race. He's in a really strong position, and as I said, it would be his first win at Motive on a Friday night if he is able to. He's won on the Motive Racing channel many times in the past, but never in the actual Motive F1 League. So it's his moment to shine here, but we see Joam and Kingsholm still having a good battle here for second, and look at this, there's a lap car getting involved. And lap car unlapping himself there. Is that Beam Basher? It is Beam Basher there. Beam Basher unlapping himself on fresh soft rubber and getting himself ahead of Kingsholm and Joram. Incredible stuff here. So Kingsholm and Joram still battling out over second place, but Beam Basher there. Well, he's got the pace. We knew he had the pace, but he's had an inconsistent night. That's you know, putting it kindly, but Joram here looking to the inside now. Kingsholm trying to squeeze him towards the inside, up towards the pit wall, but Joram's going to have the inside line in towards turn 1, onto the brakes they come. Bit of a wheel bang between the two of them, but Joram there gets that done, and Kingsholm is going to get pushed out by Magfire here. Magfire just knocking him while he's down. They're still scored a little bit alongside him, and Magfire does hold on for that third place. So he gets that move done on Kingsholm there, so pushing him a little bit down while he's, so knocking him, so definitely kicking him while he's down there, but Kingsholm does squeeze back through there, so good race in there between those two. Magfire obviously is trying to go to the end on his medium tyres, still in a decent position here in this race. If he is planning on going to the end of this race, then he's in a decent position, but I can't see it. I mean, I think he's surely going to have to come in for fresh soft at the end. Bennett, Joam and Kingsholm, I believe, all still have to come into the pits as well. I can't see them making these tyres last to the end. I just can't see it. I really can't. As you see Kingsholm there trying to fend off Joram coming up towards the end of the back straight. Joram though is going to get the outside here. These two still battling out, but Kingsholm's not giving up in this battle. Seems to be more than a match for Joram at this point in the race. Oh no, bit of a collision there. Joram just tags the back of him. Kingsholm loses the car. Oh, he's got a 3-second penalty for time for corner cutting there. I have to say, if Kingsholm joins the Discord and puts in an inquiry about that, I'll get rid of that penalty for him, because that was unfair. He shouldn't have got a penalty for that. He cut the corner because he had a collision, so no fault of his own whatsoever there. And I will more than happily rescind that penalty if he needs it to be, because that was unfair. But Scott says they have no other choice but to try to get these to the end. Oh no! Well, Kingsholm's just taken Joram out into turn 1. Safety car is deployed here on lap 23 or 28. 5 laps left to go. Kingsholm just took him out into turn 1 there. That was a very sketchy move indeed. Well, I don't know what that was all about, to be fair. But safety car is out, and that could bring Bennett's win into question here, because Joam's in third place, and obviously with everybody driving to a Delta, it means that damage that he's got on that Red Bull isn't going to be too much of a major hindrance towards him. He can come in at the end of this lap for more or less a free pit stop. It will drop him down to P5. He'll be on fresh stuff rubber. Bennett, the race leader, is going to get a free pit stop as well. But crucially though, it's going to really bunch the pack up, and it's going to be a very tight pack towards the end of this race. So it's going to be Bennett will take the restart in the lead. Magfire will be able to put some fresh softs on. It will be right on the back of Bennett for the restart. Joam likewise, Shug's Life, Little Greavy, all these guys will be right there. Everyone can put a fresh set of soft tyres on, and it will be literally like a dash to the end. So anything can happen here in the closing stage of this race, guys. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Drop a like if you haven't already. There's 10 people watching. Let's get 10 likes on this video, guys. And yeah, stay tuned. This is going to be a cracker. Little cheeky audio check. Little cheeky audio check. Little cheeky audio check. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are moments away from the restart. What's hopefully going to be the final restart. 2 laps left to go here at Circuit in Americas for the US Grand Prix at Motive Racing. Bennett LCFC is going to lead the last couple of laps. He's got a charging pack of fresh soft rubber behind him, but he's also on fresh soft rubber as well. We see Shug's Life has lost out to Little Greavy coming down the start finish straight there on very old medium tyres. He's getting swamped here at this restart. Little Greavy and Joam both up into P2 and 3. Shug's Life's trying to come back at Magpie here. Joam loses out and goes down to P5 there behind Magfire and Shugs, as we see Shugs there squeeze it back ahead of Magfire, but Magfire's not done here. Joam waiting in the wings. Little Greavy running in second place, but Bennett's already broken away on this restart. He's already got a 2-second lead. We've seen so many times in the XL F1 League on a Wednesday and Sunday. Bennett's absolute king of these restarts, and he's nailed it once again. Shugs Life there running in third place. He's got 2 tenths back to Joam. Joam looking to come around the outside as we see a lap car ghosting through these guys here. As we see a Red Bull and an AlphaTauri there, both ghosting through these drivers just in front. Beambasher's out of the race. He's DNF'd here on the penultimate lap of the race. What a shame there. We've lost Beambasher from the race. I think he might have rage quit because he was a lap down and he wasn't allowed to regain his place behind the safety car. But we've currently got Joram there down the inside. Oh, up into third place there. Manages to get himself ahead of this chasing pack. Magfire there just squeezing around the outside of Shug's Life there, ghosting through the lap cars as he does it. That's the lap car there of RDJ, I think, getting involved. Oh no, we got the Ferrari's lost it there in the background, and that was Clarky, no, not Clarky Boy, it was Shug's Life, sorry, Shug's Life there dropping down to 10th place. Clarky Boy up into 9th, his teammate is now ahead of him, but Bennett's got a lead of 2 seconds here to Little Greavy. Final lap of the race. Bennett LCFC's got this one in the bag. He just needs to keep it cool and calm on his final lap of the race, and he can bring it home for his first win on a Friday night here at Motive for the Formula 1 League on the Codemasters Formula 1 game. What a night it'll be for Bennett LCFC, as he's got a 2-second lead over Little Greavy. Joram's got himself up into third place, but it's going to be too little too late for him. Can he get Little Greavy on this final lap? There'll be no DRS as we're only 2 laps into the restart, so it's going to be about whether Joram can get the grunt coming out onto the back straight, maybe use up all of his DRS and hope for the best. Shugs has got a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Derby Bay's on the back of Rednass here, 2 tenths between these two. Mr. Basil getting involved, and Clarky Boy not too far off of either. Clarky Boy only a second or so off of his personal best finish here, as we see somebody lost it in the background there, and don't know who that was, to be fair. Not really, doesn't really give a clue, but Clarky Boy's ahead of Shugs up into 8th place there, and Mr. Basil's dropping down a couple of positions, so he's down to P10, loses out to Clarky Boy and Shugs Life. Raki there just behind, hanging that battle for P13, but here's the man of the moment. Bennett LCFC played it brilliantly with the strategy when Jara made his mistakes. He was there to capitalise. Derby Bay's just got ahead of Rednass up into 6th place, so that's hit his position up 1. But Bennett LCFC, what a drive tonight here at Circuit of the Americas, the champion in the XL OG League on a Wednesday and Sunday night, regular racer and coordinator of the Monday Realistic League, coming in towards the final couple of corners here for the US Grand Prix. It's going to be his first win on a Friday night here in the Aston Martin. Bennett LCFC comes up towards the line and takes the checker flag. It's the victory here at Motive. Congratulations to Bennett LCFC. Little Greavy comes over to take 2nd place ahead of Magfire. Joram finishes the race in 4th off of the podium. Rednass 5th, followed by Horatio 6th. Then Clarky Boy managed to mug Derby Bay for 7th place there at the end. Finishes in 7th. Derby Bay 8th. Shug's Life finished in P9. With Mr. Basil 10th, RDJ, Raki and Penguin Nude the last to finish this race. What a race we had tonight here at Circuit in Americas though. Bennett gets driver of the day and takes the race win. He does the double tonight. Well done to Bennett LCFC. That was drama aplenty here on the Motive Racing channel. Guys, if you like what you saw, please drop a like on the video and subscribe. Join us at www.motiveracing.com and join the Discord server in the top right. Also join the XL F1 League if you haven't already. You will be able to find that on our Discord server. Top left hand corner of the Discord. Check the partners section out. You'll be able to join XL. They run on Wednesdays, Sundays and Mondays. For us, it's just the Friday for the time being. But I want to say a big thank you to all the drivers who showed up tonight. Great action out on track. A few little thrills and spills and maybe some questionable driving. Hopefully there will be stewards inquiries on that and we can get those sorted out over the course of the week. But Great racing from everybody. Thanks everybody so much for watching. If you guys who were driving in the race are watching this back afterwards and enjoyed watching it back, then obviously drop a like and subscribe. Show your friends and family what you're getting up to on a Friday night. Thanks everybody. We'll see you in the next one.